Episode 17, Growing Food, Building a Sustainable Food System. Hey gardeners and green thumbs, welcome back to EcoAlchemy. In our last episode, we explored how to design sustainable living spaces that seamlessly blend with nature. This week, we're diving into a topic at the very heart of self-sufficiency and environmental stewardship: growing food sustainably. Growing your own food isn't just about filling your plate. It's a meaningful step toward building a system that supports your health, your community, and the planet. Let's experiment with methods that make food production not only practical but also in tune with how nature works. Today, we'll look at raised beds, greenhouses, aquaponics, and even the concept of building a food forest. Who's ready to dig in? Gardeners, have you ever stopped to think about how powerful growing your own food can be? It's more than just cultivating fruits and veggies. It's cultivating independence. By taking control of your food production, you reduce reliance on external systems, cut waste, promote biodiversity, and foster a healthy relationship with the earth. Plus, let's be honest, there's nothing quite like biting into a sun-ripened tomato straight from your garden. It's fresher, cheaper, and more nourishing than store-bought produce. Beyond the personal benefits, sustainable food production is a critical piece of the larger puzzle of regenerative living. Every seed you plant, every harvest you make, contributes to a healthier planet. We're not just growing food here, we're helping our ecosystems thrive. If you're looking for a manageable, beginner-friendly entry into food gardening, raised beds are like setting the training wheels on your first bike. They give you control over your soil quality, moisture levels, and how your plants grow. For those of you gardening in less than ideal soils, such as in arid regions like Arizona, raised beds are a game changer. Here's a fun experiment you gardeners might try. Mix compost, a touch of sand for drainage, and organic matter into your raised beds. You'll have a nutrient-rich medium that plants will thrive in. These beds are also perfect for vegetables like carrots and radishes, herbs like basil and thyme, or even strawberries for those who want a small sweet harvest. What's more exciting? You can tweak your setup based on the results of each harvest. Change the soil recipe, adjust the watering, or try different organic pest control methods. With each modification, you're not just growing food, you're growing knowledge. All right, let's talk about greenhouses. For those of you ready to take your gardening to the next level, greenhouses open up a world of possibilities. They offer a controlled environment that protects your plants from extreme weather and pests, and they allow you to grow crops like tomatoes, cucumbers, and peppers year-round. That's right, gardeners. Imagine fresh tomatoes in the dead of winter. Take an experimental approach and try using materials like old windows or polycarbonate sheets to build your greenhouse. These are cost-effective options that still efficiently trap heat on chilly nights. To make the most of your greenhouse, play around with ventilation and shading. Watch how different crops respond to changing conditions. When you experiment like this, gardening stops being a chore and transforms into a living science project. One pro tip: add heat-absorbing elements to your greenhouse, like a water barrel painted black. It'll soak up warmth during the day and radiate it at night, keeping your plants cozy. Now, for the adventurous among you, let's talk aquaponics, a futuristic yet ancient blend of farming fish and plants in a mutually beneficial system. It's an experiment in perfect harmony. Fish such as tilapia or goldfish produce waste that fertilizes your plants, while the plants filter the water for the fish. It's a closed-loop ecosystem that's brilliant for areas where water conservation is key. Here's what I love most about experimenting with aquaponics. It's endlessly customizable. Start with a small-scale setup using a fish tank and some PVC pipes for your grow beds. Add some leafy greens like lettuce or basil, which are perfect starter crops. Watch how the plants thrive, then scale up as you learn. And don't be afraid to push the boundaries. Try adding edible flowers or experimenting with water flow rates to find the sweet spot for your system. This method might seem advanced, but trust me, it's easier than it looks once you get the system balanced. Plus, it's insanely rewarding to harvest both fresh produce and fish from one efficient system. Are you ready to go big with long-term sustainability? Let's talk food forests. Unlike traditional gardening or farming, a food forest mimics a natural ecosystem. It's a beautiful blend of perennials like fruit trees, berry bushes, medicinal herbs, and edible ground cover, all working together to nourish each other and you. If you're trying to picture what this looks like, imagine layers. Towering fruit trees like apples and pears, shrubs like blueberries and raspberries, and a carpet of herbs and root vegetables like garlic and ginger. This layered approach not only maximizes space but also reduces the need for chemical inputs. The plants help each other fight pests, conserve water, and fertilize the soil. I've been experimenting with a small section of my garden, planting a mix of nitrogen-fixing plants next to fruit trees to encourage growth. It's been a joy to watch the ecosystem evolve as birds and pollinators arrive, naturally strengthening the system. Think of your food forest as a living, growing experiment because that's exactly what it is. Let's keep this real, gardeners. Not every plant will thrive, not every season will be a winner, and that's okay. Gardening is an art of trial and error, an experiment that evolves with time. Personally, I've had crops fail from overwatering, under-fertilizing, and even a rogue family of squirrels. But every failure taught me something invaluable about my garden's needs and how to adapt. Take joy in figuring out what works in your unique environment. Try out-of-the-box methods, mix crops you usually wouldn't, or even start your own small experiments. Your garden is a laboratory bursting with endless possibilities. And when you finally get that bumper crop of juicy heirloom tomatoes or sweet blackberries, it'll all feel worth it. Let's chat about scaling. Start small and refine your experiments as you go. I began with a single raised bed and a mini aquaponics system, just enough to learn the ropes. Once I had a clear idea of what worked for my soil and climate, I could scale up confidently. Remember, small successes can lead to bigger dreams, one season at a time. I'm now planning my first mid-sized greenhouse and expanding my food forest. It's a leap, but growing these systems in stages allowed me to learn and adapt, making the process not only manageable but also incredibly rewarding. In our next episode, we'll explore the next level of sustainability: composting and waste management. I'll show you how to turn kitchen scraps into nutrient-rich fertilizer and close the loop in your gardening system. Composting isn't just waste reduction, it's soil-building magic. You won't want to miss it. Here's where you come in, gardeners. Share your ideas, your successes, and even your glorious garden fails in the comments. Let's make this a two-way journey where we learn from each other. Do you have tips for enriching soil, building raised beds, or tackling greenhouse design? Let me know. Your ideas might just inspire the next experiment for all of us to try. And hey, if this episode sparked your imagination, don't keep it to yourself. Share it with a fellow gardener or anyone dreaming of a sustainable future. Together, we can turn individual gardens into a collective movement toward a greener tomorrow. Thanks for joining me today. Until next time, keep growing, experimenting, and dreaming. Remember, every seed you plant is a step toward transforming dreams into reality. EcoAlchemy, transforming dreams into reality, one step at a time.